Right. Welcome back, guys, to the Black Diamond Podcast. I'm your host, Will White. I'm joined with two lovely ladies tonight, and we got a great episode for you. So let's get into it. All right. Welcome to the podcast, guys. As you know, I'm trying to hit the goal of 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe to the channel, pause the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Check me on Instagram at Black Diamond Pod. And yeah, let's bring the ladies on. Let's get into this conversation that we have on dating tonight. So let's start off with introductions. Let me get your name, age, location, or where you're from, your education, your job, and relationship status. And anybody, just go first.
Okay. My name is Kosi Puri. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm from Queens, New York. I currently live in Staten Island, New York. I am a resident advisor. That's my job occupation as of right now. I'm 25 years old, and I am in a relationship.
Okay. How long you been in that relationship?
Going on 5 years.
Oh shit, 5 years. So since you're 20.
Yeah. I know.
How's that been?
It's a relationship like anything else. It's tough. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But the good times, depending on your partner, though, is very rewarding. But if you're going through 5 years of stress, I wouldn't recommend that for anybody.
So let me ask you this. Is your partner older than you?
No, we're the same age. Yeah, we're the same age. Same age, yeah.
So isn't that kind of challenging, though? Dating a guy
It is. No, it is. It is. 100%. Like, obviously, we're still both in the phase of growing, learning, adjusting, adapting, figuring things out, figuring out our career path, spiritual, emotional, everything. So it is definitely challenging. I wouldn't say it's not. But yeah, you get through it. It depends on who you're with. You know, we'll get into that later on, but I'll break it down.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like when I was 25. I don't know.
You was a wild boy.
I don't know if I'm ready.
I could tell. I could tell. I could tell.
All right. Last but not least.
Hi, what's up? I'm Hazel. I am originally from Rosedale, Queens. I'm currently in Washington, D.C., getting my master's degree in social work. I am a social worker. I'm 30. I'm single. What was that? That's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
What's
question
up?
for who? Me?
Oh,
Hazel.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
I'm planning on relocating to Washington. How is it?
Come hither.
All right.
I love New York I'm born and raised in New York in my soul, in my blood, and my bones, but I am never moving back there. Never.
Yeah,
DC is
too much.
DC is amazing. The only thing I would say that's bad that I've noticed, I've been on here since the school year started in September.
Okay.
So I'm pretty new here, but it's very small. Like everybody kind of knows everybody if you're in the same room. So yeah, that's the only thing. But the good thing about it is that there's so much to do. Like every restaurant is like really beautiful. The food out here is amazing. Like there's a lot of 5-star restaurants out here. There's a lot of activities, a lot of things you can do. And versus New York, where you have to just go to like somewhere else for it. Like you have to go to Manhattan and everything's in Manhattan.
Right.
Yeah.
No, because I've been doing research. I'm like, it's but so much information I could get on TikTok, but because I don't know anyone out there, but I knew from like podcasts I've seen and like people have been saying like the diversity. Sorry, that's my dog. The diversity and stuff has been like really good in DC. Let me just.
So Hazel, let me ask you this: how's the dating scene out there in DC?
Whew. All right, so. Well, when I first came out here, I wasn't anticipating dating. I had just came out of a relationship. I was like, I'm gonna come out here, focus on school, do my thing. I just, just living life. But there's like what I found is like two types of men. Like you got the hood and like the hood dudes, the drug dealers, the scammers, and everything. Then you got like the black professionals. There's a lot of black professional men in DC, and I love that for me. To be completely honest. But what I will say is that when men, especially black men, are heavily like motivated or really in their career, dating is a little bit more difficult. And I found that, like, I found it. Most men, they are emotionally unavailable, especially in the age range I am. I'm 30. So if you're 30 years old and you're successful, well, I date older men. So like not older, but like 35, maybe 33, something like that. When you're in your career and you're like really focused on it, you tend to have all that you have because you were not emotionally available for so long. So that's kind of like something that I have experienced out here. But then you also have like the guys that are like, in the streets and doing, whatever. But it's a good like melting pot of diversity of like in the dating scene here for sure.
When you say emotionally unavailable, like on that a little bit more. I want to touch on that. What you mean by that?
So I'm not gonna be an asshole about it.
Give me an example.
You can be.
Okay. Well, okay. So it's like when you are focused, like if you're focused on your work all the time and it got you so far without like having like a significant other, you don't see the benefit of having one. At that point, relationships and love become a business deal rather than for like for like love and family and spirituality. Even like those are all factors that is important to me. But when you're so business minded and you're so like focused on your goals, you don't consider love to be something that's a choice. I think love is a choice. Like people don't think love is a choice anymore when you're like so career driven. So it's like it's just another business deal. It's just another contract. It's just another something that you have to just do as a transaction rather than like building, learning, loving, and growing, which I think love should be based on.
Well, I mean, when you really break down a relationship, it is transactional at the end of the day.
It can be, but I'm a sucker. Like I don't know if y'all believe in zodiac signs. I'm a Cancer, so I'm like a crybaby. I'm emotional.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Big Leo.
Here we go. You said Big Leo?
Big Leo.
What's
funny though? I get along with Cancers. My sister's a Cancer, and we just know how to take care of you guys because we see it before it comes. Like, oh, she's about to cry. Let's just get her in the car and yeah. It's okay to be sentimental though.
That's how I am.
My whole thing about the black professionals, right? I don't know. I think as men get older, we understand the value of family because I don't know the situation of those men, but like at least for me, going forward, when I enter those later parts of my life and I'm more successful, I did that just so I could have a family. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of weird that you're saying that they don't really desire that, like they're not desiring that out of you.
I know it's kind of weird, and it's just not like I've seen it with people I've met out here, like their relationships. It's just I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But I do think that family is important. But then that becomes a transaction too. It's like, okay, what are you doing to add to the family? Like I'm the woman, like I'm going to create the family. What are you talking about? Like, like my finances shouldn't have to matter. What I do doesn't have to matter. But because you're a career driven man, what if I'm not in grad school? What if I'm doing something else? Like that means so much to men out here. And it's like, but you should be getting to know me. Like my personality is separate from what my career is, or what it might be at the time. Like I had a man say, "Oh, you're in grad school. Holla at me when you graduate."
What?
Wait.
Yeah. He was like, "You in grad school? Holla at me when you graduate."
Blocked.
Because I was like, what? I'm like, why?
What does that mean?
He's like, because I'm not at the level he's at.
That means get on my level.
Yeah, like I'm not at the level he's at. So
wait, hold on.
That's very narcissistic.
He said, "How long do you have until you graduate?"
What is that?
Did he say how long do you have until you graduate?
No, he just says he asked what I do, and I said I'm a student.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to like have a like a meaningful conversation. It was
Right.
just like, yeah.
And he disregarded you because you're a student?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Believe it or not, a lot of men are like that. And it's not based off
I agree.
of it's like a validation within themselves to replace insecurity. So a lot of men use their status and they're like, this gives them the power that they're trying to obtain. Like, oh, you're not this yet? Okay, well, holla at me if you. Mind you, he's a one. Looks wise,
Number
a
one.
0. Not even a 1. Like,
Well, let me give you my opinion on it. I think that in today's society, we're being told that men and women are equal, right? So we're being told that we're on the same playing field, and if you work and I work, you should be able to come in and provide 50-50, right? So maybe from his outlook, he's saying, if I continue on with this relationship, it's not going to be 50-50.
Right.
It's going to be more, 90-10 or maybe even 80-20 or something along those lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
But society is telling us that women are equal to men. But in reality, y'all don't even really want that.
I don't.
at all.
I don't like people.
At all.
I hate people say I'm a feminist. I'm not a feminist. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah. It's written. I don't know if you guys read the Bible, but it's written. Like, this is the roles have reversed. Like, it shouldn't be that a woman is holding the same responsibilities as a man. It shouldn't be vice versa. Like, a man shouldn't be doing and having the mannerisms and having the tone and the actions and everything of a woman. It's just like everything is so blended now that we generally don't know the difference. And I feel like that's become a problem in relationships. That's become a problem in business partnerships, just everything. It's just too merged at this point.
Yeah, we've blurred the lines to a degree where we can't really go back.
Right.
So, but men are being told that, we're equal partners. You're coming in and you should continue to contribute if you're working, because if you weren't working, you would have been paying the bills 100% for yourself. So now it's like you're coming into this relationship when you were paying 100% of your own bills, but now you just want to pay 20% of the overall bills while I pay the majority of the bills. And men are like, nah, that's not a good deal. So I think that's the confusion men are like facing nowadays. But I'm a firm believer in a man just being a man and paying the majority of the bills. I think if you're out there dating, that's kind of the expectation you should have. If you're not going to pay 100%, you should at least be prepared to pay the majority of the bills, which is like 80%. Right. Especially if you plan on starting a family, you don't want your woman to work through pregnancy and all that,
I also feel like it's solely based off of your expectation, just as a woman. As a man, it's based off your expectation. Like, and no one's wrong. Like, it's not wrong for a woman to say, my man should do 90 and I do 10%. If that's what they agreed upon and that's okay, that works for them both, that's fine. Is it the 50-50 thing? I mean, if you're in a partnership and your partner, you have that agreement, I feel like it's based off of, the agreement you guys have. But some men and some women just are, I think it's the expectation. Like I heard a guy say one time, a woman was like, oh, well, I want this, this, and this, and this, and this. And the guy was like, okay, well, what do you have? And she didn't have anything to offer. So in those cases, it's almost like, it's like asking for a Bentley and you have a 1994 Volkswagen. Like, you have to be realistic with your expectations and just try to be, don't lower your standards. In my opinion, I see a lot of people do that, but just don't lower your standards. But I don't know. I guess it's a conversation you and your partner have to have, or whoever you're dating, and just make it clear from the beginning. Because a lot of women don't, and then they end up in something they don't want to. He ends up being a bum, and then they're like, "Damn, I didn't even." Yeah. Based off of first look.
You have to be realistic.
Yeah.
But I think that femininity in women is so rare that if a woman brings that to the table and not necessarily the financial aspect, that to me is the most valuable thing.
You can
because
get whatever
femininity
you want.
in women today is kind of so rare.
Whatever
get
you want.
whatever you want. Like, but it's like, you know, like I think I'm a very versatile woman. Like somebody, I was talking to a guy. He was like, he asked me, what do I bring to the table? And my response to him, I had to really think about that. I never had a man ask me that before. And I was kind of turned on a little bit. I was like, you serious, right?
Let me
You
think.
turned on by that?
I had to think about that. And I was like, yo, honestly, I match my partner's energy. And I feel like a lot of women can't do that. Like I motivate you, you motivate me. Like if you need this, I got you. Like I match energy. Like if it's positive or negative, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like, you know, that I think he really like appreciated that. And I feel like a lot of men don't know what they're looking for in a woman. Like I feel like when they first see him, it's just like about sex or just achieving something, like just getting the fuck. And then after that, maybe like, you know, I like her now. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like I believe in like love and like actually looking for like a relationship or being intentional about, you know, what you want, especially at this age. Like, I don't know.
Right. No, I agree.
So let me get into my first topic.
Lord.
What do y'all look for in a man?
Rich. Nah. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I mean,
You ain't kidding.
Stop the cap.
You ain't kidding.
Not poor.
Everybody looks for money to some degree.
I mean, you know, yes. Yeah, I definitely don't want to date somebody broke because I'm not broke. I'm not going to be broke. I won't ever be broke. But I definitely...
Talk your talk.
Never. I wasn't raised that way. I come from a 2-parent household, and that's the type of childhood I had. Like I just can't. It's not for me. It's not there for me. But
Right.
I definitely want somebody who's spiritual. Like I think that, you know, if your foundation is spiritual,
Right.
everything else, like you can't be like your relationship can't shake when your foundation is spiritual.
Woo. Now, yeah.
What you
now
mean
we
by that?
talking.
Like go to church?
Like even if you don't go to church every Sunday, y'all went to church today. Happy Easter. Happy
Easter.
Day.
No, I agree. I know. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
What I mean by that is, like, if you go for physical first, that won't last. You know, if you go for like finances first, that might not last. But if you go for spirituality first, that's something that can last forever. Because my love for God
Right.
never will stop.
Right.
So I know if your love for God ain't gonna stop, then no matter what, like we could always sit down and pray together. We can sit down and figure this out. We could talk to God together. We can, you know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever it is. But I feel like the God's like the foundation of what we're trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's it. That's it.
I agree.
So you got spirituality, you got money. What are some other things you think you look for?
Physical and intellectual.
Physical. So what are we talking in terms of physical?
What you look like and what you packing.
Right. Right. It matters though. It's unrealistic. It's really unrealistic to ask a woman, all right, have the good body, have the money. You gotta be able to cook. You gotta be able to clean. You gotta be able to have everything has to be perfect, and then, you know, to not ask for those things in return.
Right.
So physicality. Let me just throw something general out there that I hear from like most women. Over 6 feet. I would say around like a 6 on the attractive scale, and in shape to some degree, not obese.
I would. For me personally, I wouldn't go with the over 6 feet thing. Women do generally like tall men because the short ones are very angry and they have a lot going on. But in general, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to be over 6 feet. Just not. I can't be looking down at you. That's
well.
not.
Let me hear from Hazel. Do you want somebody over 6 feet?
No preference. I mean, you just have to be at least like a little taller than me. Like you don't have to be
bit.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'7" 3/4. I'm 5'7".
So, what about a dude who's 5'8"? That's average height.
Yeah, that depends on everything else you said. Like, you know,
in your heels, you're taller than him.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You fine with that?
Off the rip.
Can he be? Can he be obese?
No.
All right, so he has
Well,
to be in shape.
like, no, he can't be obese.
No.
He gotta be in shape. That's fine. And you said he has to be an intellectual.
Yeah. But I want to be able to have conversation with you. I want to be able to talk about things that like are not just the shade room. You know, like I want to be able to talk about, you know, if we plan on having a family, what's the finances going to look like for the kids? What we're going to do? Like, I want to be able to talk in my lingo and my professional lingo, and you be able to relate to me and talk to you in my hood lingo, and you be able to relate to me as well. Like,
right.
Is that too picky?
He got to be the hood. He got to be the hood genius.
Yeah, that's what I want.
A little bit of both, right?
You got to be both. All right, fellas, you hear that? You gotta talk the hood and then talk smart at the same time.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Right.
What about you, Coach Lee? Let me hear your dream man.
Definitely, it's a must that he has some sort of relationship established with God. That's just number one for me because he's the head, so he's the leader. You can't take me anywhere if you don't have an assignment, if you don't have, where are you getting your information from? Where are you getting your advice from? When you're confused going through it, where are you coping? How are you coping? Like these things, this is why God is so important. And if I'm with a man that's just, oh, I just don't believe anything, I'm just open to whatever, that's going to confuse me. That's going to lead us into poverty. That's going to lead my children. It's just a lot that comes with the chaos, anxiety, fear. And it also matters that he has a spiritual relationship with God also, because it's like, how can you pour into me when I need help? Like when I'm down, what are you saying to me? How can you speak into me? And those things, that's like the number one for me. And that, well, now at this age, I'm learning. Before it was kind of like the physical, he's cute, money. But now that I'm getting older and I'm walking into my journey and understanding the importance of God, period, I need someone to really, really understand the importance of God and really have it established already, because it's also confusing dating someone with like lukewarm faith. Like here, first he's here, then he's like, I don't know, I'm Muslim, then he's like, oh, I'm Christian, then he's, you have to just be established. Another thing I look for in a partner is definitely assertiveness, like assertiveness and ambition. Like I love somebody that can just say, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what we're doing, this is what's going on. Like a plan, have a plan, be assertive, be confident in your plan, and just be a leader. Like be a leader, because I'm a leader. I'm dominant already. I don't want somebody that I have to like, I want to kind of like come down, and I want to be able to submit to someone. So a leader, definitely a leader. Physical is always, need somebody I could look at, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, you have everything and I could barely look at you. So physical as well. Financial, like how can you establish some sort of, you can't even take me on a date. I can't, you know what I'm saying? You have to be realistic. And I would say just somebody funny. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. Take me out. You want to travel, somebody adventurous. And I think that's it for me.
Would you guys say that sums up to be like a high value man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like you're automatically high value when you're connected to God. So that's the start. You know what I'm saying? And when you're walking, when a man is truly, truly, truly walking in his kingdom and really flowing and getting all of his assignments from God, not his friends, not his mother, not his sister, not his cousins, not the music. He's influenced by nothing. That's when you are in my opinion, a high value man. Like all of your assignments, you already know. It's just a different level of confidence, and it's very attractive.
Very attractive. Yeah.
Yeah, your purpose is definitely part of being a high value.
Right.
But I mean, there's other factors as well.
Other factors too.
Let me ask y'all this. Do you think you need to work to either find that man or to stick with that man?
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to meet him halfway. And like they say, like you are what you attract. So if I'm just not working on myself, not working on my physical, not working on my mental, my spiritual, and I'm having all of these expectations, not only is God seeing it as like a joke, but the man, I'm never going to reach the man that I'm trying to reach. This is just dreams. You have to work toward that life and it will attract to you. So just keep working on yourself, keep working on your mental, keep healing. And those things attract you. Like you just end up in this place where it's like, oh my God, all these high value men, how did I get here? Versus just being, oh my God, all these bums, how did I get here? And you have to be realistic with where you are as a woman, and you'll walk into that. You don't necessarily have to go. No woman has to go looking for any man.
When you're self-aware, you tend to know what is for you and what's not for you. Like if you're not self-aware and if you're not aware of like your past traumas and you work through your things, you might take certain things from a man or even from any relationship from work that aren't necessarily the healthiest thing. And if you find yourself in a situation that's not healthy, you may not work through your problems in a healthy way. Or if you are in a healthy place mentally and spiritually aligned, self-aware, and you find yourself in these issues with your partner in a relationship, you're going to be able to work through those things in a healthy demeanor, in a healthy way. Communication, like being able to understand where the other person is coming from, so I can understand and not just listen to respond, but listen to understand. Like that's all very important.
Yeah. So you guys talked about that man being a leader. Would you consider yourself a follower or able to follow under his lead?
Yeah. Is that a two-part question? Or is that just like one question? Like, would you consider yourself a follower?
Do you think you're able to follow under a man's lead?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The right man.
Yeah.
Not just anybody.
Right.
But you could tell. I feel like women could tell when he's just like, all right, you don't know what you're doing.
Nah, sis. Nah, you be young and dumb. I'm trying to tell you. I was young and dumb, and I thought I had a man that was
He was just that?
On him, like, my man. Stupid.
Oh, so men are great manipulators. You're right. It's because I learned younger, so it's just like now I'm only 25, so it's like it's like what you said earlier, back to what Hazel said before about just knowing your worth, your self-worth. Mm-hmm. And no one can at that point, nobody can convince you that to lower your standards. Like it's either you meet me here or the door.
The door.
Right.
So let me ask you this. How many men do you think on average, like in the market right now? Well, you're in a relationship, but you could use your ancestral evidence, your friends, family, who are single. How many men do you think are actually good leaders? Or do you think there's many good leaders? Many men who make good leaders?
I'll let Hazel go first.
I mean, I'm not going to say they're not out there. They're out there.
Definitely.
You just got to put yourself in a place where they are. You know, like you can't be looking for your leader in the club, sis. Like you cannot find your man.
Out of like let's say I lined up 100 guys, 100 random guys. How many do you think would actually be a leader that you would be able to submit to?
Where are we getting these men from? New York or DC?
Right.
Because that matters.
All over the country.
All over the country?
Mm-hmm.
10.
I was going to say 20.
I was going to say 15. I was going to say 15, but I was like, nah, 10. Fuck out niggas.
Back 10. Heavy on the 15. So I'm going to say 15.
Oh, yeah,
the reason why I say that, though, is because, okay, so if you look at teenage boys that become men, they're usually followers. Like, why are men the first demeanor, the first personality they attract to is like automatically. It's like men are naturally followers, I feel like, until they really establish that relationship with God and you understand leadership to a different level. But men are more easily influenced than women are, in my opinion.
Really?
So they tend to be followers. Yes.
I would disagree with that. I think women are more easily influenced.
What? We are clicked up. Girls be like, kiki, so fast.
Oh, you're right.
Men will walk past each other in the street 15 times, and the 15th time, yo, you got a gamer tag? And that's it. Like, people see you. Niggas will see each other like so many times in a row, and they would not speak to them. Like, they don't care. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a New York thing.
You see me, you're going to be like this. just because whatever. Like, no, she's cool.
No, you're right.
And then
I know what Kosi is saying though. But if you really peel that back a layer,
yeah,
and you look at how many men are actually, they may be inspired by them or aspired to be those type of like rappers or thugs or whatever.
I would say inspired. That's a better word.
But the rate at which they can actually become that is actually very low in itself. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, not many men actually become rappers.
I dated one.
So
I'm dating one.
But let me ask y'all this question.
Topic, girl.
So we know that most men are not leaders, right? We roughly say around 10 to 20% of men are actually leaders or have the capabilities to become leaders. Flip that. Do you think most women are actually good at following or have the traits to be led? If I lined up 100 women, how many of those women actually have the traits to be led?
80.
80.
Oh. Stand on it.
Yeah.
Stand on it.
I would
say like 69.
Ooh.
You know why? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to hear why.
The reason I say that is because I feel like a lot of women operate in fear and like insecurity first before they get to understand and get established of who they are. So we do cling, like she said, we do cling to men, but a lot of women don't like. I feel like a lot of women don't like we expect leadership, we expect to be someone assertive, we expect these things, but when it actually is happening, we don't know how to receive it the way it should be received. So but I feel like 69 because most women want that, and I feel like when you're in the right relationship, it's just natural. Like you don't have to force it. It's natural. Like you will naturally submit. It's almost like it's really like a mental thing. Like, okay, he's doing what he has to do. We locked in immediately. Like you don't have to try too hard. I think if men understood that, they would just stop doing dumb stuff, honestly. But a lot of men don't understand that they have that power.
What is that?
I said, let me hear your thoughts on why you think it's 80%.
Well, I think it's 80% because women, like we like to listen. Like we like to be bossed around. I think it's like a sexy. I think it's sexy. I think that if a man like Coach said, like if it's the right man, we'll just do whatever he says. Like we'll like okay, yeah, even if it's the wrong man. Because like I've been when I was younger, I dated somebody who used to deal drugs, and I'd be like, I just want to sit in the car with you and go with you all day. Being stupid just because I want to be with him. Like if he would have told me to do this or do that, I would just do it. And I feel like that's in our nature to listen to a man and to be submissive to men. But there are some women that are like, nah, like they're more dominant, and I feel like that's probably because of something else, like different episode reasons. Mm-hmm. But I think most women just want to be able to be like, my man said this, my man did that, and like I got him. Like I'm about to die. Like it might be to prove to him that she's worthy. Maybe you know what I'm saying. But I think a lot of women would, for whatever their own personal reasons, would just follow whatever a leader says or what a man who has assertive qualities will say.
No, I agree. I do agree. I agree to that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with the point on where you said most women have the qualities to be led. Only because a lot of what you said is conditional, mm-hmm. right? If the right man came along, if he did this, if he did that. I think someone who's, naturally submissive is just gonna naturally fall in line and make that man fall into that leadership role. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times what I see, and I've had this conversation before with other women, when their man is not masculine, they feel the need to take on that masculine role within the relationship.
100%.
And I think right there is a big problem on just like femininity and masculinity. Because
Right.
if
Mm-hmm.
you're a feminine woman, you should be submissive regardless. Maybe your man's not there yet, but a part of being feminine is being inspirational and inspiring that man to be the best that he can be, to be that leader that you want him to be.
That's you asking me
And
to die, and if I die, what's going to happen then? No, I gotta make, because if I don't,
Right.
you can inspire me all you want, but I feel like every Black woman has some dominance in her. We might just put it to the side for our man at the moment. And any moment we see him being weak, our dominance is going to creep in and try to take the reins to protect our man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we can be submissive, we can, but as the moment that we have to hold you down and do all of this, now we got to be dominant. And in the situations when that happens and the relationship don't work out, now we stuck with all this dominance and all this anger toward or resentment toward that man that we're going to carry on into the next relationship, and that's what causes women to be dominant in the dating world.
Right.
no, this is where I disagree. I don't think your only choice is to be masculine if your man is not masculine and if he's not filling in those roles. And this goes to a lot with Black women. They do feel that need where, okay, if my man's not masculine, I need to then be masculine. And I've spoke to other women of different cultures, different races, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked them that same question, and they responded with, "No, I'm not going to fill in where my man is missing. I'm going to stay in my role and just build him up from there, motivate him, inspire him." But I think choosing to be masculine and choosing to fill in those areas where your man is lacking is just a choice. It's not something that you're required to do. But it's a choice a lot of people within our community choose to make, and it ends up hurting the relationship more than helping it.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I can see that, especially when you bring in the fact of other cultures. Yeah.
Right. I think it's other cultures definitely, because the standards are just different from birth. So, and just their beliefs are just different. The rules are just different. The laws are just different. So in America, where it's just free for all, a lot of like what she was saying is like a lot of men have this expectation where a woman just like teach me, like almost this mother instinct that women don't want to necessarily do. Like, I don't want to be a mother, but then when we do those things and we're like leading and this, that's what it feels like to us. It feels like leading. Like, I don't want to lead. I just want to sit back and be able to watch you inspire me sometimes. And I feel like that's when men get kind of comfortable. Like, they're like, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that. And instead of being a positive effect where it can like benefit us both or you, it kind of backfires on the woman to where it's like, okay, you're acting like my mom, you're trying to control me, so I don't know, it really depends on the man. And I don't know what it does, how it affects him, because for a lot of men it backfires. Like, the woman becomes the mom. Now you're trying to tell me what to do. I can't, you're trying to tell me how to dress, you're trying to tell me, but are we the inspiration or no?
Yeah, men. So, do you think that men can be submissive in that aspect? Like, do they know when to back down when we try to get that dominance? This question is not for you, it's for Kosi. Like, so when that does happen, men they nah, I got this. Like, nah, you're not about to tell me what to do. Like, what do you think that, why that is? Like, why can't men submit to a woman who's able to be strong enough to lead for a little bit? Like, why
I feel like toxic masculinity. Yeah, it's toxic masculinity. I feel like if men truly understood their power, it all stems back to God, which is crazy. It's like you really have to understand your power. Like, men have so much power. It's like when we were kids, and when our mom yells at us, she'll yell at us. We don't have really much effects. Well, as soon as my dad said anything to me in a high tone, I start crying immediately, because it's just the power men possess. But a lot of men use that power and use it to abuse, use it to disrespect, use it to verbally, they just don't know how to use that power. It's like any movie where you see superheroes. Like, if you knew how to control it, you can get whatever you want. Same with a woman. So I just feel like it gets overbearing for a woman to we're almost forced to be the man, like, just naturally, because the man is not aware of his kingdom, and you have to just be aware. sometimes you're damaging women unintentionally. So I just feel like, what was the last thing you said again?
Like, you think a man can submit when it's time to?
Yeah, I feel like, yes, the right man. Like, I went through that tug and pull in my own relationship. Like, okay, first I'm the inspiration. Now you're the inspiration. Okay, now somebody's getting lazy. Now we have to get back to some, the roles. We have to get back to, I hate to say gender roles, but we have to get back to the masculine and the feminine and the line, because especially when you're in a relationship, it gets very blurry. Like, it gets very blurry. Now we're just swapping roles. We're just doing this. We're doing that. But the right man does submit, and the right man knows to submit when it's time, because he knows he won't always have the answers, and that's okay. And sometimes my woman is in a better position than me, and that's okay. That comes with just confidence. Like, okay, I'm good. A lot of men are insecure too, like have insecurities, so they don't like their women in that role for envious reasons, jealous reasons, or just intimidation. Like, oh yeah, my woman's in a position of power. I don't like how it makes me feel. And that comes with healing. Men have to heal, but the right man will definitely submit, no questions asked. It doesn't look like our version of submission.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so this one that back a little bit. That was a lot. I'll let you guys talk for a lot. Submit in what way?
Okay, so for a woman, submission looks like listening, being respectful, not questioning a man, let him be free, blah, blah, blah. For a man, submission looks, in my opinion, submission looks like being teachable, being able to take advice, being able to take criticism. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from your friends or from your mom. Like, if I'm your woman, in a way, I am equal to you. I'm not just an object in this relationship. So, I have an opinion, sometimes my ideas are better. And that's just the bottom line. Sometimes my decisions get us out of trouble. Sometimes your decisions get us into a rut, a financial rut, or such and such. So I think it's just about allowing your woman to have an opinion. It just boils down to that. Like, let her have an opinion, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to always agree, but you can just be kind of understanding. Some men just shut their woman down straight up. Like, nope, whatever you're saying, that's a dub. Like, I don't even care what you're talking about. But that's not right if that's your equal. And men can submit, and, it just doesn't look like with women how we do it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you're feminine. It doesn't mean get down and rub my feet and wash my clothes with your hands. Like, that's how men receive it. But it's ways. Yeah. Just be softer.
No, I think you can take opinion from others. It's always good to get another viewpoint when you're in a situation.
Right.
But
here you go.
You also said men are intimidated when
some
women are in a power position, and it's far from that.
I was in 2 relationships where I made more money than the man, and it just became like, when I would say what to do or say something, he would throw that in my face. Like,
you think because like, relax, baby.
You're asking to borrow my car, bro. Sit down. No, you cannot borrow my car.
And it almost feels like, how dare you? The nerve of you to tell me what to do. Like,
so all right, let's break this down a little bit. Because he made less than you, he couldn't tell you what to do?
No, not like that.
I couldn't tell him what to do because he needed to be more dominant in that aspect, because I was a breadwinner. Like, why I can't pick the restaurant we go to if I'm paying?
Would you pick the restaurant? Would you pick the restaurant if he was paying?
No, I want you to pick that. I'm following you, Daddy. What's up? Plan a date. Take me out.
Pay him that same respect. You should be able to pay him that, and that's a part of femininity. Like, you can still be feminine and be the breadwinner. It might be hard for women to do that, but it's still possible. Like I said, it's a choice at the end of the day. Just like you chose to be masculine when your man wasn't masculine, it's a choice.
I will not.
But the way I see it and the way you're telling it is, this man is not filling certain roles and values in my life, so I'm not going to give him the same respect compared to a man who would fill those roles and positions in my life. That's just how it sounds.
In her defense, I don't receive. Maybe it's because I'm a woman. I'm not being biased. I just don't receive it that way. Like, I just feel like I get what she's saying, but I get what you're saying 100%. It feels like, okay, because he's he's not this. You value him based off of his material or based off of his assets, or that's how
Way you can provide.
we both receive things differently. Men and women, we just receive it differently. Like for a woman, it's like it just feels like disrespect almost. Like for you to be, I feel disrespected, like almost by you really having the audacity to tell me and like trying to dominate me in a not healthy way when you're driving my car. I'm paying for the food. I'm paying the bills. I'm paying for this.
Every single day I come home, I
But
cook.
you chose him.
I cook, clean.
That's what it all comes down to.
Because you know why?
That's
You
true.
know why I was so young and dumb? Because he said, "Yo, I got this. I'm gonna do this. I'm a leader. This. I got all this coming. I got all this going on for me. Okay, I can rock with that. You're ambitious. You're driven. You're this. You're that. I can rock with that." And then like time and time again, it was like disappointment. All right, so now like I really gotta put my big girl pants on and like leave this relationship before you take us down all the way to, you know what I'm saying, committing crimes or whatever, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, so now I have to be that.
And sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes years, and we think we're seeing progress because, like I said, it's understanding your power. Like men can say anything. You can say anything to me, and I'd be like, "Oh, we believe you. Like we truly believe you until you prove that you can't be trusted, or you can't be respected, or you can't because." I feel like men's value is based off of their word. How well can you keep your word? That's how well your woman is going to respect you, in my opinion. So if you tell me Wednesday, I'm going to the gym, I'm going food shopping, and then Wednesday comes, you don't go to the gym, you don't go food shopping. And then you just continuously do this. I feel like you kind of lose value in my eyes, and you lose respect.
Yeah, and then you want to come touch up on me and get some ass.
Right? What happened? No.
What you no?
Exactly.
You're not even turning me on right now because you was in the house all day or whatever the case may be.
I measure a man's value by his words.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, as you should. So let me ask you all this, right? We know that a man being a leader is very rare, right? Were both of you raised to be a wife or someone who can be led by that type of man?
I was.
Yes.
I was. There's not too many people that I know that were raised in a 2-parent Christian household where both my parents have degrees and are successful. Like I grew up not really wanting for anything. My mom didn't pay any bills. She cooked, she cleaned, she took care of the kids. My dad had 2 jobs. He worked with the took us all to church. Like it was very rare. Like I didn't know anybody else who had a life like that growing up, and I didn't realize that until I got older, and it started meaning more. Like how my parents raised me, how my family is. Like it didn't make sense. I didn't understand the value of it until I'm older. And now that I have that, I make sure I mention that on the first date, so you know what type of woman I am, and you know how I'm coming to you, and it gets me points. I'm not gonna lie, it gets me points because I know how to cook, I know how to clean, like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm educated and I'm pretty a little bit, whatever.
You fine.
But you know what I'm saying? So like I think that and I have a mother in my life and my father in my life still to this day. There's no kids outside the marriage, not shaming anybody who does, but like growing up like that, like I really I watched my mom be a mother and a wife. I've never seen my parents argue. I've never seen them bicker. I've never seen my dad sleep on the couch. I've never seen no fighting, nothing, no scandalous things happened. Like growing up, my parents told me about little things here and there. Like as an adult, like when I come to them about issues, like this is what happened to me. Well, your father. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, what? And now my dad, my Christian father, deacon man, church man. What? And I was like, yeah, but like we had to make sure we kept that between us. We wasn't letting that affect the family. We knew that, So yeah, like I think I had the perfect upbringing. I really do.
So let me continue on with that. You guys were both raised to be, to be led, right? Let's start with that.
I think my upbringing was a little different, but it's similar. But I kind of was there through my parents' divorce, so it was more things coming out, and it was ugly. So you do I got kind of the best of both worlds. Whereas my dad was more of a street pharmacist than anything, running the town. And my mom was very much at home working, and the lives were just different. My father was a mega producer. My mom is just a woman from a small town, and they combined, and it just became like just too much in the end when it is the women and this and this. So I would say the way it was handled toward the end was a little like, but it did teach me, like both my parents instill a lot of principles in me that I use in relationships now, as well as some, some bad things that I catch myself and I'm like, whoa, this feels familiar. This looks like my mom, or this is something my dad would say. And at this point, I think it's just about breaking generational curses and trying not to carry those traits.
Yeah.
So would you say that most women are raised that way, or you think what you guys both have is actually pretty rare?
I would say it's in my case, it's not rare. Like it's not rare for like the guy, a rapper, this rich man.
The quality to be led like that.
Oh, the quality. Yeah, it's pretty rare. It is rare. It is. It's based off a lot of women see it as much as cliche as it is. They say, a lot of women base their, how men treat them based off how their daddy treat them or their brothers. But it's true. It's very true. Like, you don't notice and understand that until you become an adult and start dating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if we know that this trait is rare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair to say that most women should be trained or coached by their man on how to be a good girlfriend / wife?
I feel like no one should coach anyone, and I feel like that's the thing that's became a thing that became normalized.
But
I feel like
most women aren't coached. Then who's going to teach them? It has to be their man who teaches them.
No, it doesn't. I don't think so. I can't.
No,
I can't raise him. I can't raise a man. I can't raise a man. Like I'm your girlfriend. I'm not your mother, and you're not my father. You know what I'm saying? Just same way I tell all my male friends who are going through something, go get a mentor. I can go get a mentor too. I can
a therapist.
A therapist. I could find a black woman who is in my church or something of a stature that I can go learn these things from if my mother was not available to me, or if my mother is not the type of woman I want to be. If that's somebody, if your mom is not a person you want to become, you can find a mother figure, you can find an auntie, a cousin, somebody. But I don't want my man to teach me how he think I should be as a woman.
No,
because that's not gonna happen. Like, you can teach me.
How are you planning to fit into his life if he can't teach you?
Teach me what?
How to fit into his life.
You could teach me how you want to be loved. You could tell me about what you're looking for in a relationship, and I can sit there and figure out, is this something that I can be for him? Like I told you earlier, like I match energy. Like I have to know what you expect from a woman, and I have to know, can I be that? But if you're like, I need a drug dealer wife, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's so cute, like I gotta be a drug dealer wife now. Like that's not me. You can teach it to me, but like I'm not about to do that. Or if you're like, I need a corporate wife, like, nah, I'm not corporate either, like not right now. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're talking about the dream guy that you all described, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about this man coming into your life. We know how rare he is already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to be trained or coached by him to fit into his life?
Oh yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think, a lot of 90% of men and women is how we receive it. So I'm learning that, like having a life coach or a mentor from church or something like that. I'm learning, like, we really don't receive things the same way as being a man and as being a woman. But now, after she said what she said and you said what you said, I kind of understood what you were saying more. Yes, absolutely. He can teach. I thought you meant like teach me how to love. You can teach me anything, but how to love myself. You're not supposed to come into the relationship trying to correct. Sometimes we confuse teaching with correcting and trying to fix, and it just becomes too, like I said, blurred. Like, are you trying to teach me, or are you trying to just have a project, something you want to fix and work on? But yeah, the right man, yes, I can absolutely learn things from him. If he wants to teach me about this, that, I absolutely will follow his lead.
No, I would say correcting plays into that as well too.
No, it does.
So just correcting certain bad habits, because as you said before, most women are not, most women are not, being raised to be led. So
It's true.
I can tell you from what I've experienced now dating and talking to women is that some of them come with bad habits at times,
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not agreeable. Sometimes they don't want to listen to you. They're not okay with a man's authority over them. So,
Yeah. No, that's true.
when you're trying to fit into that high value man's life that you guys all describe, to think that he's not gonna have to coach you and correct you to some degree, it's kind of crazy. He's
But
gonna
that's not
have to.
we didn't say we didn't disagree with you.
No, I just feel
Yeah.
like, I didn't disagree. I just feel like the word coaching is not said right.
Having a conversation, loving, learning, and everything. I'm a big emotional baby. So if you come with me in love and respect and understanding, then yeah. But if I feel like every 5 seconds you try and change who I am, it's not gonna work.
Yes, it's a thin line. It's a thin line between correcting.
Men don't know how to lead properly. If you can lead properly, then maybe, or if you can guide me properly, or if, you know what I'm saying, there's ways to do it. But I have never had a positive experience as to what you're talking about. I have experienced it. It just was never in a positive light. So I think that's why I was quiet. I was like, I can't really say no, but I can't really say yeah. It's just, like if God put us together, he gonna make it work.
He sure will. And toxic masculinity is a very real thing. Narcissism is a very real thing, and women and men, not just men. But you could correct me, you could teach me. It's just where is the intent? Where is it coming from? Are you pouring into me out of a place of insecurity as a child? Are you pouring into me out of where is this coming from? Is it coming from love? That's all I need to know. If it's coming out of love and you want to see me really flourish and become the best woman I can be for you, I need to know where it's coming from, because a lot of men I thought were teaching me. I thought, I'm being submissive and they're just jealous or envious or competing with me or just using that to dominate me and feel more, get more self-esteem. And I didn't learn that till later on. So it's really depends on who you are and what your intentions are for your woman. Yeah. They have to be pure.
And for your family, not just your woman, your family too.
Yeah, your family.
Like your future family. Like what kind of wife do I want my kids to have? What kind of conversations are we having now that our kids are gonna see later? That's really important to me.
Right.
True. I mean, that goes into another point. One more point before I go in. Are most women out there who are dating, do you think they're ready to be wives?
No.
And we can even bring it to our community, since we're all African American, we're all Black. Do you think most Black women are prepared or ready to be wives?
I say yes. She said no.
Why do you say yes?
I say yes because of the woman I surround myself with. Like, I don't surround myself around women who don't act like wives, because that's not the type of company I keep. So the majority of my friends, they're all like either businesswomen or like good mothers already, or like just respectable overall, like well-rounded women. So that's my circle. I know there's women out there that don't act like wives, who want to be run through in the streets, or whatever the case may be. But I'm being serious. Like, I know it's out there, but I personally don't have any relationships with women like that. Like,
So let me get your thoughts on a good wife. Well, what do you think makes a good wife?
Yeah, sure, right?
Oh, me?
No, I'm asking you, Hazel.
Sorry. What do I think makes a good wife?
Yeah.
I think a good wife is somebody who can, like, there's just so many things. Like, you have to be able to listen, as you just said. Like, you have to be able to be coachable. I think you have to be. I don't know. It's just such a hard question, because a good wife could be so many things. Like, you have to be like grateful, like positive, hardworking. You have to be maternal, nurturing. But I'm describing myself now.
Not you.
No, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just like, because I don't know. So like, you have to be just, you know, I think you have to match energy. Like I'm still describing myself. I just think that, you know, like whenever you see like a problem, I feel like you should be able to like pick up or just support, or if you see any slack somewhere, you should be able to catch it and let your man know, or work, or you handle it while he's handling something else, or you know, just I think you just you know, just catch just to be support. Just be support.
Right.
All right. What about you, Coach? What makes a good wife?
What makes a good wife? Definitely somebody who knows how to minister to her man and pray over him and pray over the family. You have to be a praying woman. When things are chaotic, you have to know how to keep him grounded. Someone respectful. I feel like all a man really asks for is respect. And then men are really simple when you like really break it down. They just ask for respect. Someone respectful, someone independent.
I knew that was coming.
Independent, trustworthy, loyal, obviously. Someone that knows how to communicate in a healthy way. Obviously nurturing, caring, you know, could bear children. That's a whole nother thing that a lot of women suffer with too. Like that's a whole thing to consider. Like some women cannot bear children, and that's something to consider when becoming a wife. I would say I had something on the tip of my tongue. What did I say before that? Bearing children.
You brought up all good points.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a few things. Nurturing, but that's for the most part.
Yeah.
All right. So let's change gears a little bit. What's something men get wrong about dating? And you can talk about from a relationship standpoint, or you know, just out there dating, being single.
I feel like it's a big thing that, well, I want to go back to what I was saying, and the reason I said no is my answer was based off of societal's standpoint. When I said no to, I think the question was can women be wives?
Are most women wives? Yeah.
Are most women? Yeah, I was just basing it off of society and where we are now as a collective as women. But my answer would be, I just went blank. Hold on. What was the question?
I think it's courtship. I think
what's something men get wrong about dating?
I think it's courtship. Yeah. I don't think men know how to court anymore.
Courtship, yeah.
Yeah, I think that men think that taking them on, to pick her up, buy her flowers, take her on a date somewhere nice, and take her home and saying goodnight is a problem. Stop thinking I'm gonna fuck you on the first date because we have some type of chemistry. Like stop thinking if I actually pay for the first 3 dates, like that's too much. Like
it'd be 3 too.
Like it's gonna be 3. Like if you hit on a third date, like it's like a problem. Like courting is really like, I'm not gonna lie to you. You are a prize, and I know you should know you're a prize because I said yes to dating you or to going on a date with you. Now it's your turn to get to know me and understand that I'm a prize too. Like men don't court anymore. Like
and another thing I feel like
consider that a date. Like I want to get cute. I want to feel good. I want to come home and talk about my girls, or I want to sit there and have a nice conversation with you. Take a walk after. Like courting is a thing.
Right.
Why do men don't do that? Why men think that that's just spending money on a woman or just not like, why is that not a thing anymore? Like court me.
Yeah, right. No,
we'll get to that. All right, Kosi, let me hear your part.
I just think men have this big misconception that if they have money, the woman is automatically off rip attracted to him and just wants to get in bed and whatever. And that's not the facts. That's not true in the slightest. Some of these men are so ego driven that is disgusting. Like you could almost not even be in my presence just with the demeanor that men with money carry sometimes. Like the expectation, like, oh, she's about to just drop her panties because she see what I pulled up in. She see the watch I got on. She see what I got on. Like I put that on. So it's just like, it's a misconception. Like men truly believe in their brains that, and for a lot of women, this is it. But for women that value themselves, it's like I'm not easily impressed. So you have to come with way more than just a bank account and, a nice car.
Men do that because it works.
Facts.
Like they wouldn't keep doing that if it didn't work in the past.
Facts.
It works
No,
to
yeah,
some
facts
degree,
though. That's what I'm saying. A lot of women, but a lot of women also don't know their worth. So if you know your worth, you know who you are, you know what you bring to the table. So he can't just pull out a stack and you just like, oh my God, let me just hop in his car.
No.
Like, no, that's not impressive no more.
The problem with that is when men start leading with their wallet, they start to tend to attract women who just want to manipulate them for their pockets.
Exactly.
So,
and then they get played, and then they generalize women as a whole. Oh, they all use as hoes, and it's not true. It's just you just was blinded. You made the wrong choice.
So yeah, let's get back to the courting. So you said men don't court anymore, right? There's a reason for that. Chivalry is dead. Chivalry is dead.
Dead. No resuscitation. Do not resuscitate. In the ground, buried.
Wait, but in my defense,
who killed it though? Who killed it? Who killed it?
Social media.
That's a good question.
I'll
tell you right now, women killed it. Women and social media.
How?
Social media.
Y'all killed it.
How did women kill it?
Because when you start saying, like, this goes back to men being taught that men and women are equal, right? You guys are all saying you want to be independent. It's in the music. You're all saying that you want to be independent. You're all saying that you're equal to a man. But when it comes time to pay for that check, we ain't equal no more. It's my responsibility now to pay for that check at the first date. So there's this miscommunication going on that's just not happening. And then now you're saying, oh, we have to pay for the first 3 dates. And let me tell you something. A lot of women will go on 3 dates with a man and have no sexual attraction towards him. So he took you out for 3 dates, and then you just up and leave, and he never gets called back. So men are starting to pick up on these little things when it comes to this new dating era, combined with social media, because dating isn't the same as how it was even 10 years ago. After COVID, the whole dating market changed. Mm-hmm. So we're all picking up on these things, and men are starting to see that dating in the same way that our parents dated does not work anymore. Courting is not the same anymore. Courting does not work anymore. And I think if you want to match energies, you literally have to match energy, and you have to reciprocate that on the first, second, and third date.
I will always offer to pay for my own half of the bill. If a man lets me, he's not seeing me again.
Even that. It's not even that.
What you mean?
It's the fact that women can go on a date. Women can go on a date and have no sexual attraction towards the men that they're dating.
We're not supposed to be having sex till marriage, first of all. So stop talking about that. No, I'm not fucking you. I'm not fucking you unless I choose to. Because you know what? The ball is in my court until I fuck you. And then when I fuck you, the ball is in your court. Because you know what happens? Now I don't hear from you no more after I done fucked you in the first or second date. So now, so what? What you mean?
Wait, whose fault is that?
What?
Whose fault is that?
What?
That you ain't hear from him after he smashed.
That's not our fault. That's not your fault.
No,
I ain't hear from you.
No,
that's not your fault that you gotta pay for 3 days until I know you're serious and I know you want me because I need that. I need flowers. I need you to make sure. Good morning, Grand Rising.
Nah, Grand Rising.
How was your day? Did you eat today? No, because you have to do that for me first, and I promise you, you will reap all the benefits later.
But let me tell you something. Having that mentality, dudes will still do that because dudes will still do that and then still leave. I think it all comes back down to like, what value are you adding to that man? Because we already clearly defined how rare that man is. He's a leader. He's tall. He's intelligent. He brings money to the table. He's confident, affirmative, spiritual. like this man is not common. So if he does choose to do all of this with you and you're not actually reciprocating anything in return, what else is he to do but leave?
No,
but she didn't say that.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't reciprocate. I said that I would
But
literally.
she's saying that men don't court anymore, and that men and
They
the whole
do.
reason behind like not
Especially
giving
the
it
man
up.
you're describing. If there's a man like that in the world, holla at me. Tall, educated, you know what I'm saying? All these good things. He wants to court me, yeah. But I just because I think because maybe women, we know in the back of our head what we offer, so we want you to work for it a little bit. Just work for a little bit.
You gotta run, do a little jog or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like work for it. Let's have a little fun. Let's
what do y'all offer?
Fun.
Huh?
What do y'all offer?
Oh, I could bring a lot to the table. A lot.
I mean, what you talking about? Because you
that
about,
too.
Really, like if you do all this for sex, you could have just said that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. But
I mean, I think sex is already that should like that shouldn't even be talked about. I think if we're talking about sex, like that's kind of
just okay to be equal. To be equal and kind of go if you guys both. Understanding you guys both, I'm in a relationship. I was courted though, like the 3 dates, 4 dates, everything, all of that. No sex until after all of that, and it worked. It worked well in my favor, so I feel like it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible. Yeah. Like it just depends on the person, and a lot of guys want you to chase them.
Yeah, right.
Like, a lot of men want to be chased, and that's not how it works.
Right, and if your pockets is right, you ain't gonna complain about taking me on 3 days.
We're not, and he shouldn't
be expensive either. Like we can go.
Right. Take me
like,
to the boardwalk.
I want an opportunity to get to know you and just understand what your values are, understand who you are as a person, understand where you're going in life. What's your head? What's going on up in here? You know what I'm saying? Because everything else, obviously, like the looks got me here. So I want to know what's going on up here. And men just want to get to bump and grind so quick. I feel like nowadays I took you on a date. You come back to my crib. No. What you mean? What you talking about? Like, oh, come on, give me a kiss.
Like, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
It's like, and then it becomes uncomfortable at that point too. Like, I said no. Like, this is our first date. Like, relax.
Why would you even?
I don't leave my house.
Disrespected by the
acting like this. Like, I don't.
Yeah. I feel disrespected by the audacity.
Have you ever gone on a date where you were not sexually attracted to that man?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have. I know. It depends.
And that's why chivalry.
I think you should say.
Have you ever slept with the woman you found not visually or sexually attracted? You're not sexually attracted to, like.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
With my little sound buzzer.
Of course, that's
but what was
irrelevant.
your reason?
That's irrelevant to what we're talking about.
What was your intention?
Let me tell you. Oh, gosh, if a man wants to go on a date with you, I'm gonna let y'all know this. If a man wants to go on a date with you, he wants to have sex with you as well. That's the only reason we're going on. We're not going on this date to get to know. I mean, to get to know you, yes, but it's not because of your personality. It was that attracting. We want to have sex with you, and then your personality could come after. That's why it's so important to offer more than just sex, because sex comes equipped with every woman. Mm-hmm. So it's outside of that, what are you bringing?
That's crazy because if women don't go into dates thinking like that, and if we did, men wouldn't really value women like that, because that means she slept with every man she wanted to date with, and then we have all these bodies, and now we're not worth anything.
All right.
You're only not worth anything if you believe you're not worth anything. But
in men's point of view, if I have 1,000 bodies, I went on 1,000 dates because I slept on the first date every single time, because I wouldn't date with you because I want.
Why are you sexually attracted to 1,000 men? God damn.
Okay.
What's going on?
25, 6, 3. It doesn't matter. It could be any number of men. I just said that outlandish number because of whatever. But I mean, so women don't. At my age, women don't go on dates for for sex initially. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes women do. You know, I want to sleep with him, so I'm going on a date with him. But like, if he wanted to have sex with you, we would just say that. We can.
Straight
Men
up.
can't do that.
I've heard this many times. A woman knows when she wants to have sex with you within the first 5 minutes of actually meeting a man.
I've heard that too, and I disagree.
I don't disagree with that. I believe that's very true.
As soon as you
I don't think it
I'm
takes 3 days for you to know that you want to have sex with me or not.
It's not gonna take 2-3 days.
I don't believe so.
No, it's not gonna take 2-3 days.
Not 2 or 3.
I've been in situations where I've been on a date with a guy and I was like, I'm not sleeping with him. And then like 5th, 6th date, I did. Because I kept dating him. Yeah, I kept dating him and I didn't like him. But then I was like, yo, I like his mental. Like it's just we started to vibe. I was using him at first, and I told him I was using him. And after we slept together, I was like, I don't even know what you. I was hungry that day. He was
Straight
like,
up.
yeah, I told him that. He was like, I only
to it.
know what you. I want to with you. And I was like, all right, well, we here now. And it was rocking for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So other things happened, but like it be like that. And there's also
got to be straight up.
I'm not sleeping with him. I am sleeping with him, and he did one little thing. He picked up his French fry with a fork, and I was like, ew. And I told us not to. Something like that.
Wait, what? Wait. Say that again? He picked up the wrong fork?
No. I'm just saying, like, there's been times where I've like
turned off easily.
Like, I was like, you know what? Like, he might get something tonight. Like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling it. And then he did something, and I was like, oh nope. No, it's not happening.
It's a no for me.
I've seen people like eat a burger with a fork or eat a pizza with a fork, and I'm like, if you don't pick up that damn finger food and just eat that shit, like,
I'm weak.
Like, why are you crossing your legs, or why are you like? I hate when men have like a lot of mannerisms. Like, I hate when guys talk with their hands like this. Like, I'm like, I feel like I'm talking to my bitch right now. Like, I don't like that. Like, I thought a man was gay once. I thought a man was gay, and I was like, oh, he just invited me out to dinner because, like, we had a good conversation. Like, it was after the club, we was just talking. He was like, yeah, so we should go out. Like, I was like, all right, cool, yeah, what's up? Let's go. I went to dinner, and he really tried. It was a whole different thing. I was like, oh shit, he's not gay, and I was afraid to ask him until like a month later if he was dead. And he told me no.
After he paid for the date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I mean, if you invite me out, you're paying for it. If I invite you out, I pay for it. That's my rule. That's what I do. That's what I follow.
Facts.
Well, why do you think we're like, we're inviting you out because we want to get deeper?
What do you mean by that?
I think y'all know we want to be intimate. Like, we're not just inviting you out. Just saying,
so you should be able to pay then. If you gotta pay,
my whole thing is y'all are accepting these dates under the pretense that you have no sexual attraction towards these men.
That don't mean I gotta fuck you.
Right.
That don't mean I gotta fuck you. I could be celibate for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, 3 months, whatever. I can be celibate and want to fuck right now. And I would be like, no, because because women who understand self-worth, who are self-aware, and who's on a certain journey, who has certain goals or certain things that they want to like accomplish, they're not really worried about those things unless they want to get laid real quick. Like, I can call somebody and get laid right now, but do I want to? No.
But it's not about that. You're missing the point that, like, this man who we know is high value to a certain degree, and he's asking you out on a date. And you know his intentions already, right?
Mm-hmm.
But your intention is you have no sexual attraction towards man, but you're willing to have him pay for it, take up his energy, take up his attention. He's entertainment at the end of the day, but you don't believe in pursuing it further. Honestly, I think it's manipulative, but I guess it is what it is in this current dating market. And men have to understand how to like navigate through all this.
Yeah, but women get played just like a man can get played like that, and women get played too.
Right. I don't think men are the victims 100%, and I don't think women are the victims. I think it's a open playing field at this point.
Yeah, like
in this new society.
It is. But y'all are much more prepared than most of the men out there.
We're more prepared
than the men?
In the sense where you don't have to pay for the dates, you don't have to actually approach men. Men come up and approach you. You really don't have to do much work when it comes to dating. I'll just be honest.
You know why? Because you look at a woman and all you want to do is bone her.
Right.
Yeah, we
like,
we agree on that already.
I want to.
You never seen a woman and you just was like,
okay.
I just like her personality, from like seeing her from afar without having conversation, but you see her like working on Instagram or doing her thing online, and you'd be like, wow, I really just like what she's doing with her life, and that doesn't attract you? Or is it just her physical appearance?
Physical appearance is a big part of it. But like I said, after the sex, it then becomes your job to figure out how can you add value outside of that, because that comes equipped with every woman. Right. So if you're talking to if you're with a man who gets a lot of women, he's not pressed for it. So there is that high chance that when he gets it, he's gonna dip out because you didn't offer any other value outside of that.
Right.
And so let me just ask y'all this. We know you're perfect man, right? What do you think that man wants from you?
The first thing off the top of my head is respect. I feel like that respect, men really want respect. And that is not just like what I say, you know what I'm saying? Respect is so many levels. I'm learning that in my own relationship. My current relationship is just so many levels of respect. As far as how you communicate, what you guys indulge in financially, accepting his leadership and being able to be teachable, like you said, just different levels of respect. Being able to respect him.
So just respect? You think that's it?
No. I feel like respect, obviously being submissive, femininity, being soft, not too aggressive. Obviously it's the opposite, but not too aggressive, too dominant, trying to assert your dominance so boldly like women do nowadays. This nigga is it, like just trying to be too, definitely verbalize to a man in a soft way. Like, don't, I hear a lot of women talk down on their men, like he ain't shit and this and this and he's a bum, and like don't talk to your man like that if you want him to be something for you or do something for you or feel like a man. Allowing him some sort of freedom to an extent.
Okay. What about you, Hazel? What do you think? What do you think that high value man wants from you?
To be completely honest, I don't know what any man wants from me at this point in my life. Like I really don't know.
Oh yeah, and independence and having. Sorry, Hazel. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
And having some sort of financial security within yourself. Men love women that are independent. Like they, not too clingy. Like you have your own thing going on. We could come together. Whether I can provide or not, you still good. Men like to see that too.
I also men are so
Saying who told you that? Who told you men like financial independence?
I don't think men do. Men don't care about women's financial independence.
We don't.
They don't.
You don't? Not financial, not necessarily
why.
financial, but just a woman with a life. Like she has her gym routine, she has friends, a friend group. Like if a woman has nothing going on in her life at all, she's gonna automatically be clingy to that man. So if you don't got friends, he's your only friend, you only go out with him on I caught myself, you become very codependent. So I think that's what I meant in that aspect. More, not so much financially, more so just you got to have your own life.
Yeah, definitely.
You're talking about more of like having your own social life and things like that.
Yeah, social life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about you, Hazel? You said you don't know, right?
I mean, I really don't know because I've dated men in different fields, different type of men. Like I've really I kind of I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I that's the question I would ask a man every time. Like I would always ask, what are you looking for? What do you want? And if you don't give me the answer that I feel like shows me that you're actually interested in like being with me, then you're a dub. Or you're gonna give me an answer that is a like you thought about that and you're actually looking for a girlfriend, you're looking for a wife, you're looking to settle down, like you're not in the streets no more. Like, you know, I think that a man from Kansas wants something from a man from DC versus a man from like New York, and like that's how I feel. Like I just know how to adapt. Like if I feel like I want this man and he's this type of person, I know how to be a little bit better in this area and like not focus on this too much. Like if my man likes, I want my woman to look like a Victoria's Secret model or a Fenty model or something like that all the time, I know I gotta wear makeup more often. But if he's like, oh, honestly, I like women who are in the gym, I'm like, oh, I don't mind going to the gym. Like I'll go to the gym a little bit more. Like I don't know. Like I really don't know what men want. Like men just every man is different, and I'm definitely a woman too. So like.
Right. Someone they can trust too. Obviously, loyalty and someone they can trust. Like
those, but the things that you're mentioning, like those are things that should come as a bare minimum in my book.
It doesn't in my world, yeah, but it doesn't. Like when I see society, it just doesn't. A lot of women and men are it's just so past the point of coaching to the point where it's just like these are necessities. Like I know some men that are like, I ain't cheat. I'm a good man. I ain't cheat on you. But that's like. That's expected for me. I'm not expecting you to. I'm not expected to be cheated on. So it's just a standard. Like people have to raise their standards a little bit. But a man wants you to trust him. Like he wants to be trusted by you. Like give him that trust. Like I see that a lot with men too. Like they want that their woman to really just trust them and believe, even if they're the biggest liar in the world. They want their woman to just believe what they're saying and really trust them. And not second guess everything they do, everything they say, everything they wear, and they just want that freedom to just make mistakes.
It starts to become nagging at that point.
Right.
And nobody wants to, like, especially for black men. Like, I go out in the world and I have to defeat all these demons in the world.
Come home, exactly.
Nah.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly simple what men want. You know, we want fit, feminine, friendly, and
that's what you want. Not every man wants a woman.
Some men don't like friendly women. They be getting crazy.
Friendly or fit, like that's what you probably want. But I know men who like, nah, I want my girl to have a gut. Like I want her to have like
fupa.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying it for a minute. Like I want to go to the gym.
He wants that for the night. He don't want that long term. He'll like that for the night, but he don't want that long term.
So we're talking.
Every man would prefer a woman who's fit rather than a woman with the fupa. But we'll still hit the fupa. That's for sure.
Fact. No, they will. No, they don't care.
Absolutely, I know. I know it for sure. That's why I'm like, yo, if you're gonna take a woman on a date, just say that. Like, I mean, I guess probably not. Like,
just say what?
Like, you're not gonna get the pussy if you say I'm only taking you out because I want to fuck, right? You're not. So I think that's manipulative.
You would never say that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So why would I say I'm only here because I want to eat? I want crab legs. So you asked me what I'm doing tonight. I said nothing, but I'm hungry though. And then what comes next? Or what you want to eat?
You already know the whole thing is the intent behind it. You already know our intention, right? But we don't know your intention. So this man actually thinks you're vibing with him. Like, you know, you took him on a date. You got his number. First of all, he had to get your number.
What's wrong with dating? This is what's wrong with dating.
Hold on, let me tell you the steps, the play-by-play. He got your number. He contacted you. Y'all vibed for a few days. He set up the date. This man is thinking that you're already sexually attracted to him. Now you're on this date. You don't even like this nigga. You're just hungry. That's the manipulative part, you know? And that's why so many dudes are like just fed up with dating and courting in general. That they're putting in the least amount of effort into dating.
It's not my fault where you're leading with lust.
Right. Like
that's not our problem.
Because that's the first thing about was like physical is not forever. Physical is not forever. Like if we let's say we do everything you just said, right? And we fuck and we hanging out, and like a year down the line, like you no longer you may see a woman who looks better physically than me. Then what? Then what?
You have a problem sharing your man?
Do I have a problem sharing my man?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's two things. I want to answer that question in two ways, but I really have to like chill.
What's the two ways of answering that question? I really thought there was only one answer.
I'm not gonna hold you. I had 2 glasses of wine, so I'm trying a little buzz. But well, okay. Let me just get it all out. The first one, it's a kink for me. Like I like seeing my man fuck another woman in front of me. So I share my man.
Oh, say that. He said.
Like that's a kink. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's a kink for me. Like I'll sit there and I'll talk to her like, he fucking you, right? Like that. I like that. So I'll share my man. But if my man is broke, I don't want to share my broke man. If my man's rich, yeah. Like if my nigga can afford to keep me and keep her, if he can afford to keep us both kept, I don't mind sharing. But I gotta be the main wife. You can't get her pregnant because that's the thing for me. Like,
so it's rules.
Yeah, that's the only rule is you can't get her pregnant.
There has to be rules to it. Rules to it.
That's the only rule. You can't get her pregnant, and you know.
Yeah, you would be the main one, and the other girls would just be exercise.
Just keep it open and honest with me. Just keep it open and honest with me. Like that's all I ask. That's all I ask. Keep it open and honest. Like that's
okay.
Right, what about you, Coach? I know you're in a relationship right now, so.
Yeah. I mean, what was the question?
Are you okay? All right, hold on. I know you're in a relationship. So you do this 25, right? Let's say 10 years down the line, he levels up even more. He's more of that high value man than he is now, right?
Right.
Would you be okay with sharing him?
To an extent.
You're the main though. You're the main.
See, I could go into a whole tangent, but to an extent, we have these conversations like, especially with my career, field, is very demanding. I'm always around other men, other women. So I would say that's something I'm open to having a conversation about right now. And the level of maturity I'm at and just the level of just, it's not necessarily an insecurity thing. It's more so like, what's the intention? Like, I'm all about intention. Like you could do whatever, but if you could break the why down to me, if you could really break it down to me, why you want to do this and indulge in this, go ahead.
I can break it down. You cannot sexually satisfy your man by yourself. No woman can.
That's cap.
The lust,
I'm sorry.
The lust
I don't know what women
men have. One woman will never be able to sexually satisfy a man for the rest of his life. Never.
Wow.
Never.
That's crazy.
Never?
Never, ever?
Never. And if he's not cheating on you, say you do have a man who's not cheating on you, guarantee, check his browser history. He watching some type of porn.
I mean,
I object.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I disagree.
I don't agree at all.
No, I
feel like a lot of, let me say something. A lot of men are lust driven. Okay, this goes back to the first beat, how we first entered the podcast. What are the expectations? If you are grounded in your spirituality and you're being led by God, the whole spectrum changes in what you're into. Men are naturally lust driven, but what you have more control over yourself, and these are things you're not looking for and seeking. I don't know. It's just I'm about covenant and things like that, but I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. It depends. It really depends. But
agree with the part where you'll be able to sexually satisfy him by yourself, where you won't be able to sexually satisfy him?
Yeah, where you won't, like never, or like not even just that. It's just the
There's always going to be a prettier face, bigger ass.
Of course. But that's what I'm saying. Is the man's control. It's the man's control. It's just like you were saying on the first date, if you're already looking for the sexual aspects of a woman, you're not already controlled. You're already looking for some sort of sex. So you're not really controlled within yourself. And it depends on within, in my opinion. It depends on where you are within.
That makes sense. I agree.
Even if you look throughout history, right? We're talking about the high value man that you are with right now. Later down the line, high value men throughout history have always had
multiple wives.
yes.
If you
So
come to DC,
this is not anything new, but it's something that modern women have tried to place on men: be monogamous or outleave, right? But the truth is, y'all weren't built to sexually satisfy a man for the rest of his lifetime to begin with.
I like a challenge.
And if you do have,
I love a challenge,
high value man, and you are
challenge
his main,
me.
hold on, you do have a high value man, and you are his main chick, it's not cheating, especially if he's being honest about it, and he's following rules like Hazel said. So it's just exercising options. It's not really cheating.
I think that's the woman's option, in my opinion. If that's her option, you know what I'm saying? That's something she says she's okay with. That's not just something you're gonna drive and offer.
Oh yeah, he got to be honest about it. He can't hide it. If you're hiding it, then you're cheating.
Yeah.
But if you're honest about it, that's why I said, are you okay with sharing your man?
Hazel, what you thinking?
This is the type of man who's
what's the word? What's the word? What's the word?
So he's not going to throw it in your face. He's not going to get a baby on you. He's always going to use protection. And you're going to be the main chick. The house is not going to get ruined because of you. It's just exercise.
It's very dangerous though. It's very dangerous because I've been in circumstances where like the men I date know this about me, right? And like they be like, oh yeah, like every man's excited to hear it. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, like this is what's up. Like like they be excited. But then men always get carried away with it. So when you say things like, oh, men can't be satisfied by one woman, I don't believe that, because if you are putting as much work in a relationship than I'm putting in, we don't have eyes or like a mindset for other people unless it's for entertainment.
It's a covenant.
You can't you can see a beautiful woman out there, but your dick shouldn't get hard immediately. If your dick gets hard immediately and you see a fatter ass or bigger titties, and you don't think about me like, oh, like, nah, my wife, she hold me down. Like you're not in it. You're not in this relationship with me. Like you're just here. If you're still out there wanting to like, that's nah.
In my opinion, it's just a lack of self-control. It's just a lack of self-control and a lack of self-value. High value men don't necessarily, in my opinion, from what I saw and what I observed, they're not just comfortable just spreading themselves thin. They have standards. High value men have standards. High standards. Like I'm not just about to just be sleeping all over the. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain
man that can sleep around and just not give a fuck.
Right. It's just standards. Standards and self-control.
I mean, I agree with that. And I'm not saying every situation where there's a fat ass, he's going to, think about fucking. But if the opportunity arises, it's a different story. But yeah.
You must be a cheater.
I'm a man of God. How do you say that?
A little bit. I feel like it's giving.
Ding, ding, ding.
Where's my bell at?
Like, I need more. I demand it.
A little something. I don't know. I can't put a finger on it. Is that true?
I'm a man of God.
Okay.
God told you can't be clean up over me.
Okay.
I told
that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Christians were polygamous though, so.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, let me flip the script on y'all now. Do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to get to know?
I had a question.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I don't have a question right now. Are you single?
I am single.
So how was it dating like women? Like where do you go to find like the prey, since you're such a
Yeah, so
she's being shady.
Right? So are you saying where do I go to find good women, or where can I go to find just women?
Good women. Your wife. Where do you go to find your wife?
Where would I go to find my wife? So before we even get into that, if I was in the mindset to find my wife, I would want to be at least in my 30s. Making at least six figures. I mean, which I already do, and I would want to set clear boundaries of what what my expectations are and what it means to actually be my wife. Because when I do reach that level, it's kind of like you have to treat yourself like a company, right? And you can't just let any woman represent you. And when I do look for my wife, when she's out there in the world, people are going to see me. Mm-hmm. So this person has to represent me, and that's a whole process and that's when it comes back to being trainable and being coachable. Because if you're representing me now, there's certain things I need to tell you about so you're prepared for that. So where would I find this woman, right? Let's go back to that question. That's tough, I really want to ask y'all that question. Where do I find these wives?
Not at church. I'll tell you that right now. She ain't at church.
That's crazy. Why they not? That's what you would think.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think
depends what church.
I think you can find a good woman at church. You might not find the baddest bitch at church because that's what he cares about. But I think that you could definitely find a good woman at church. Mm-hmm. I think so.
Somebody that at least
somebody's auntie has a niece that
right. It's the nieces. You gotta go to the nieces because the aunties, they're stuck in their ways. Mm-hmm. All right. My question would be, what are you looking for in your wife? Like, what are the traits you're looking for? Mm-hmm. What are the traits? Some traits you're looking for in not even your wife, just a woman that you can settle down with.
Yeah. I mean, right now, she would need to be agreeable. I would want her to be peace. So when I come home from work or, focusing on my passion, my purpose, I would just want her to be in her femininity and just rest in that so I could enjoy that. Because in the world, I'm in my masculine. Mm-hmm. But when I come home to my woman, I want to be able to embrace that soft side of me that I wasn't able to embrace when I'm out there in the real world.
Are you also her piece?
Say again?
Are you also her piece?
I'm more than that. I'm the provider, protector, and the professor. And I think that's what every man should, improve to be within the relationship. You have to, it's called the 3 Ps. You have to have those 3 Ps before you're even like, thinking about entering a relationship. If you're not willing to provide for this woman at least 80%, I would even go as far as 100%. And you're not willing to protect her, which means take a bullet for her, die for her, stand up when she's not able to defend herself, profess, be able to communicate and express your emotions in a way where she understands it. If you're not able to do those 3 things, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. But going back to the question of like what I require from her, peace, agreeableness, femininity, and I want her to be beautiful and fit. I don't want to have to worry about her gaining a fupa on me.
Okay. All right. It's so much to unpack. What about, so are you the type to say when your woman gets pregnant, and are you the type to be like, okay, you know how guys like step out because the woman, obviously you can't have sex with your woman for the 6 months. Are you that type?
To cheat on my woman when she's pregnant?
No, like, after she's healing. When she's healing, after the baby's born.
Me?
You're thinking about
me personally? Because it comes down to
None.
No, let me tell you this.
Nah, that told me everything I
Fuck
needed.
this. I'm done. I'm lesbian.
What?
Let me tell you this.
You're thinking about it.
Cheating. It's the choice.
Are
We
you
already
a
established
Libra?
the choice to exercise options, right?
Are you a Libra?
Or
What, are we
Aries?
going to horoscopes now? Why are we going to horoscopes?
I'm just okay. You're right.
Why are we going to horoscopes? I'll tell you that later. Let me just explain my
Okay.
point. Let me just explain my point. This goes back to you can't sexually satisfy your man. So within that 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is, you literally can't sexually satisfy me, right?
What happened to loyalty?
Does this mean I
What
have to
happened to
cheat?
she's bearing your child? What happened to
Wait,
those
let me-
things?
oh,
Okay, let me. All right.
let me finish.
Let's put your seatbelts on, girl. Let's go for the ride. Let's just go. Come on.
This comes back to being a professor and a leader, right? So as a leader, you know that your wife went through something traumatic to bring your child into this world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have at that point you have to take into account how vulnerable she is and what your actions outside of the relationship right now is doing. So everything is kind of like in a weird state at that point because she just gave birth and life to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So your finances are in a place of uncertainty. Your sexual lifestyle is in a place of uncertainty. Your emotions are in a place of uncertainty. So these are all factors you kind of have to take into account as a leader, and make sure you just move accordingly. That's it. That's all I can really say on that. You know, every man is going to be different, but as a leader, you have to take into account all of those factors and understand what is the best move to make right now. Is going out and having sex with a woman the best move I can make right now to give myself the best possible outcomes for my family? So, like I said, I don't condone cheating. I don't. I really don't. But I'm going to say that one woman cannot sexually satisfy a man.
Okay.
Bunch of bullshit.
Why is that bullshit? Go ahead. Two glasses of wine in. Let me hear why it's bullshit.
I just don't. Okay, if a man could sit here and say, I don't think one woman could satisfy me, he's just not emotionally or spiritually ready for a significant relationship. Like you just not ready, because
And that's okay, you know.
yeah,
You
like,
gotta be honest with yourself.
it's cool, you know. But like I know if I was on the first date with a dude and he said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not seeing him again.
Locked.
Like, nah. Like, what do you mean? Like that's the bare minimum for you. It's like your wife plus one or two. Then you're gonna be getting two women at once all the time. You're gonna be like, nah, two's not enough. I need three. I need four.
But you already said you're with it. You agreed to
No. But that's my choice. I feel like it's fun for us. I don't want my man to be like, no, I need this. Like, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be me and you against the world. Like
this is a necessity kind of thing.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need you. I don't want my man to need anybody else. Like, I want him to need me. I want him because I need him in the same way. And it's love and it's respect and it's loyalty. If we choose to go out and have fun, it's even sexier because we are here with it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talk down to bitches with my ex nigga or whatever, like fucks them. You know what I'm saying? Because we here, it's like, yeah, you my nigga, and I told you to fuck her. Like, that's my kink. It's not because I'm doing it because he needs it. It's my kink, and you're getting off because you know it's pussy, and it should always be just pussy if that's the decision we made. But if you're like, nah, I need it, it's like, well, you need me. I need.
Let me give you guys an analogy. You have two men. They walk into a fruit stand, right? One man can only afford apples. So that's all he gets. He only gets apples, right? The other man can afford apples, and he chooses apples but sometimes he'll choose a pineapple. But he always comes back to the apple. Which man do you think is actually more loyal? The man who has the option to choose the other fruits but always comes back to the apple, or the man who's just forced to the apple?
This is not a real question. No. No. No.
It's a lot going on.
There's nothing going on right now. This is nothing. Nothing. What is that? That's nothing. The man who chooses the apples every time is more loyal. Like that's like
no, he only chooses the apples because that's all he can afford.
Because
the other man always comes back to the apple. He makes a distinctive choice to always choose the apple.
So
sometimes he enjoys the pineapples.
It's not fair. Then I'm gonna need more information. Like if the man who always get the apples because that's all he can afford, if he had more money, will he stick with apples or will he get pineapples?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's always like men are always gonna want more. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The men are always going to want more. But because he's limited by what he's able to afford, he chooses the apple.
I don't think that's true.
You want to pray real quick?
Yeah, let's pray.
What are you talking about?
We're gonna need you to stop doing this on the Lord's Day.
I don't understand how a man cannot be happily satisfied in his marriage. Let's talk about marriage. Like dating, okay, fine. Go get your pineapples, peaches, and oranges and bring me back one too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in a marriage, you're not gonna sit here and tell me that you because you can afford it, you are allowed to go get pineapples.
Okay. Let's look at marriage. How many men do you think are in sexless marriages? After the amount of years that they spend together. We're talking 10 plus years. Do you think that woman's still having sex with him the same way she was when she first met him? No,
I don't think
there's a whole bunch of men.
That's what
sexless marriages right now.
Conversation you have you to reinvent. You know what you need to do? Start courting your woman again because you probably stopped dating her. You probably stopped flirting with her. You probably ain't sent her no dick pic in the middle of her day. You probably ain't getting her hair done or her nails done and massaging her feet and making her feel like sucking your dick. Make me put my hand in a ponytail. Make me want to. You sitting at home taking care of all these kids all day, and you come home talking about suck my dick. Nigga, no. I'm tired. Hire a babysitter, get me and you a staycation, a vacation, whatever, and you're gonna have mad fun. You're gonna have mad fun.
Yeah, I think men just expect it. They keep expecting, but no work is being put in.
He's all mine. No, because it's that matters. That matters. There are a lot of men in sexless marriages and even after fuck marriage, after kids, sexless, like all that. Kids change things. I don't have any kids. I have a dog.
Me either. I don't have kids, so I don't know.
But kids change things, and that's why you need to have that.
Do you have kids?
I don't.
No? Okay.
Hazel,
do you have kids?
I've heard these stories from men who are in relationships with their partner, and the sex drive is not the same after you have kids. And if you're saying no to me, okay, and I'm not saying any woman has to say yes to me, whether we're in a relationship, married, boom. You don't have to say yes to me. You can deny sex. But at what point is it like, okay, you're not sexually satisfying me. Can I just go get some exercise real quick? You're still my apple at the end of the day. I'm still choosing you.
Yo, you're out of pocket.
I'm not fucking with the money.
You're out of pocket. I mean,
I'm not putting it in your face.
I feel like if you're mature enough to have the conversation with your woman and be transparent, a lot of men skip the communication part, do the cheating part, and then be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you," and then blame the woman like, "Yo, it's your fault." I feel like if you're mature enough to have the conversation with your woman and be like, "Look, I'm starting to be unsatisfied. Like, you're not doing what I understand you have something going on. You have to be able to say that, though. A lot of men act like they say that. They don't say that. They skip that part. They go to the cheating part, and then they come back and blame the woman after he gets caught.
I got a question.
This is why I'm telling y'all this now.
I got a question. You done?
You will never sexually satisfy your man for the rest of your life. That's why I'm just trying to get this out the way
So
now.
what about women?
I'm basically speaking for your future husbands and your partners now. You're never going to be able to sexually satisfy him for the rest of your life. There's going to be a point in time in the relationship where you deny him sex, or something happens where you can't have sex. You're just never going to be sexually satisfying him for the rest of your life. But it is there has to be some form of communication where you guys are both on the same page with what happens and what moves forward. Like I said, I do not condone cheating, but a little exercise never hurt nobody. That's it. Uh-oh. Damn, look at the faces. Yo.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know.
Well, one thing I want to say is this is ridiculous. This is jokes. This is a prank. This is a prank. Gotta be. Because what the fuck is he talking about? So, so let's say, right?
Yeah.
You have a good job and you're always working, and I'm at home. You pay all the bills, and I fuck the pool boy.
Now
because
what?
you're not sexually satisfying me.
Belong to the streets.
Now I belong to the streets. See what happens?
Yes.
Now I belong to the
Yes.
streets
100%.
That's crazy.
because you're busy at work all
all
day
the
long.
time.
And I don't need you because let's say I have my own money. Let's say I have like passive income. I have properties. I have this. I have that. So I work 2 hours a day from home and like I
You
don't
can't
need
make
you.
this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
No, but Hazel.
And let's just say your dick ain't to standards. You ain't making me come every time we fuck. Every time we fuck, you come. I don't.
It's quiet.
Because let's be
Crickets.
real. Let's be real. Hold up. Let's be real. Niggas
Hazel,
ain't
you
making
need a
bitches
horn.
come
You
like
need some
that.
sort of
Y'all ain't making
soundboard.
bitches come. So sexually
Yeah.
satisfied who? I'm not sexually satisfied. You're not sexually satisfied because you're not getting it enough and you're not giving me, you're not going deep enough. So now what?
Right.
In the beginning of this, right? What did I say we want? Agreeableness, femininity, and sexual exclusivity. That means you're only having sex with me.
So you think that you can please a woman so much that she don't ever look at something and be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like we watch porn too,
Right.
but you can go out and go get pleased and go do that because I'm not enough for you. How you gotta be paying all the bills. You have to pay all the bills. That's only a man who can afford. You have to be able to afford to talk like that. Like your paycheck gotta be
right.
clear me
Big
out.
boy talk.
Big boy talk, like especially from your wife. Yeah, like now you gotta be big
Ting
boy.
ting.
And that's only because I'm okay with like enjoying as well. Like you can't do that behind my back. Like I gotta be there. Like I'm not
Right.
speaking for all women. I'm not saying like
Right.
a lot of women disagree with how I am. My friends be like, you want to be a wife, woman, a guy, but you out here having threesomes, like buku, like what the fuck? And I'm like, well, it gets
It's
me
just
off.
about being fun too. Like it doesn't. I think it's just seen as a stigma. It's not necessarily that. Like it's just about.
He's twisting it. He's
It
making
is,
it seem
yeah.
like my woman is not enough. Like my
Right.
woman
I'm
is
not
not enough. I
twisting
need
it.
more.
I'm not
That's
twisting it.
different than saying it's fun.
But let me go back to a point that we all agreed on in the beginning. Men and women are not equal.
We're not
Right?
equal. No.
We're not equal. Okay? For you, do you think it's hard for you to get sex from a man?
No.
Absolutely. Not.
No.
Mm.
Do you think it's hard for men to get sex from women? Or at least harder?
What we shopping? Like where we shopping?
It's harder. Okay. Let me
It's
say
harder.
something. Men
Okay,
are
it's
not.
harder.
Men are not attractive. Like women don't look at a man and get turned on. Men can look at a woman and be like, oh my God. Because I could look at a man, you can send me pictures. I'm like, ew, why is he sending me that? But vice versa, man's like, oh my God, she just like, it's just not the same. I don't know.
Exactly. So it's easy for y'all to get sex. It's hard for men to get sex. What's easy does not come with respect. That's why it's disrespectful to you to you for you to cheat on your man and your man to just exercise options, because it wasn't easy for him to get those options, but it's certainly easy for you to get sex. You could
It
go to a
depends on
club,
where you
right?
shopping. You
Wait,
in
hold on.
Saks or
Time out.
where you at?
Time out. You can go to a club. Me and you can go to a club right now. You go, somebody's still gonna fuck you at the end of the night. I do the same thing. Everybody's looking at me crazy. So what comes easy to you is never going to be respected. That's why cheating is always going to be different for men and women.
But you're basically saying it's okay for a man to cheat, and I'm never gonna be okay with that.
I didn't say cheat. I don't condone cheating.
No, because that is cheating. That is cheating, because for a man and for a woman, cheating is different. A woman can go outside, and if I'm in a grocery store and a man behind me in the line wants to pay for my groceries, I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, sure, thank you. That's not cheating, right? But if you're my man, you go in the club and you buy a woman a drink and you talking to her at the bar, that's cheating to me.
Right.
You're saying if you had a man buy your groceries?
Yeah, if I have a boyfriend, he's at home, I'm in the grocery store, and a man sees me in my tight dress, my ass is poking because it's fat. And
that's cheating right. That's cheating right there. Off rip.
That's cheating because he's looking at me. I look good. He don't buy my groceries. He don't my number.
That's cheating off rip.
He don't back. Right, but that's fucked up because I look a certain way. So a man wants to pay for my food, and I don't talk to him. I don't know his name. I don't bag him. Nothing. That's cheating. But you can go out and go exercise, and that's not cheating.
All right. So now we got to break this down even more. All right. You wearing a tight dress like that, right? You wearing a tight dress like that highlights all that accentuates all that. Hold on, let me finish. That accentuates all your curves, right? That you know men are going to be interested in, and that you know has a higher chance of men approaching you is cheating, because essentially what you're doing while you're in a relationship, what you're doing while you're in a relationship is you're putting a for sale sign when you're already taken. You're telling men that you're still available.
So you want a nun? What in
now
a dress?
Now you gotta take it to the extreme. We want a nun. We can't just ask. We can't just ask for modesty.
What are you wearing outside? I'm wearing a dress. Is this too much? Like if I was like, your girlfriend can't wear it just like this? Because he could be a titty guy. He's like, oh, your titties are good. Outside.
Heavy. Like what?
At the grocery store.
Listen. Every man is different when it comes to that. But what I'm saying is, if you're wearing something that accentuates all your curves and that you know is going to attract other men,
I'm wearing sweatpants, hair tied with no makeup on. I'm in the grocery store. I still look good with nothing on. And I usually attract more guys when I'm not wearing makeup or wearing sexy clothes. When I'm
I heard why they like that. They like that because they could see what you look like. Natural, so they know for sure you're beautiful.
Buy my groceries and I'm looking like that. Is that still cheating?
Yes, and on top of that, did you give him conversation to allow him to buy your groceries?
I'm from New York. We don't give niggas we don't like conversation. So no.
Okay, good. So he shouldn't even have gotten to that point of buying you groceries. Right. Okay, good. But still, you wearing something that's going to attract other men, in my opinion, is cheating.
That's crazy.
Wearing something
out there like you're still available to other men.
You know what's fucked
in
up
this
about
century?
That? Y'all sexualize women way too much. What? Let me tell you something. I'm wearing an outfit for niggas. I'm really wearing it for my dick. Like half the time, I get my lashes, my nails. Like you don't give a fuck about my lashes. You don't give a fuck about my nails. You don't give a fuck about much of the shit I got going on. You only care about what's in between my legs and how deep my throat is. So when girls go outside, it's really for us or for other bitches. But you're like, oh, that's cheating. I'm not thinking about none of that. I'm putting this on because it's my favorite color and it's nice fabric and it's comfortable and it's hot outside. So I can't wear a bikini at the beach. I can't wear a bikini. I can't twerk with me and my girls on a boat and it's just girls there. I can't.
You can wear whatever you want. Whatever your man wants you to wear, you can wear. What I'm saying is, men want sexual exclusivity, and you actually get further being modest when you're in a relationship.
Because not all men are like that. Not all men are like that.
All right. I mean,
mine isn't.
Not all men are like that. I've had.
I can guarantee you this. Hold on, I can guarantee you this. Your man would prefer you not dress promiscuous.
I think he's not insecure, so he's not too pressed. Like he knows
It doesn't matter if he
my woman is beautiful.
If he had a choice between you dressing promiscuous and you not dressing promiscuous, he would choose the latter.
It's not his choice. It's mine.
It's not his choice.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is,
I would respect it, but.
And this is the whole thing. This goes back to leadership, and are you able to be coachable and corrected a lot of times?
This is time for certain outfits. Like I'm gonna respect my relationship. Like I'm not going to the grocery store in a tight dress thinking or expecting to get hit on. It happens. I was this woman before you met me, and maybe you were the guy the last time at Starbucks and you bought my coffee. You think there's no other nigga in the world that's gonna look at me the way that they want to fuck me?
Yeah, but now,
me like,
you're talking about.
I want you to suck my dick and look up at me just because of my face.
Right.
Yeah. I've had shit like that happen to me before. So it's not because of anything I'm purposely doing. There's niggas like that in the world that look at me and just want to fuck. I can wear sweatpants and my ass still gonna be fat. And he gonna be like, I want to see what's underneath.
I understand that. Trust me, I know men's nature and I know what we're attracted to. What I'm saying is that if your man has the option of you dressing promiscuous and you not, he'd probably tell you that he would rather you not dress promiscuous. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. You could dress however you want. And men are going to approach you regardless of whatever you wear, but you decrease the chances of men approaching you when you dress modestly. Okay. That's just fact.
When I'm with you, do I have to dress modest or can I dress promiscuous if you and I are out? Not you and I, but like you and your woman is out. Can she just
we're together?
Yeah, like you and your woman's go on a date. She wants to wear a nice form-fitting, tight V-neck dress. Can she wear that because she's with you?
Yeah, if she was with me, sure. But the situation you gave me was you were by yourself, and you were in an area where men can.
Wait, so okay. So she could only wear that with you.
You think men are not gonna look at me because you right next to me?
They want to do it.
Men are going to look at you
more because you're next to me.
Exactly. Men are going to look at you, but the chances of them approaching you are going to be decreased significantly because I'm with you.
Right.
That's the difference.
I'm cheating.
That's the difference. That when you're not with me and you're dressing promiscuously, the chances of them approaching you are more likely because you're putting yourself out there like you are available. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's it.
I disagree. That's all.
All right. You guys have any more questions for me?
Yeah. Yes. When's your birthday? You said you'll get back to that later.
Yeah, Virgo.
I'm an obsidian, amethyst, crystal.
Don't do that.
When's your birthday?
My birthday is June 16th.
You're
Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
Wow.
Oh, it don't make sense.
I didn't get that. I didn't get Gemini from him.
I did. It did.
He's a little cocky, but like.
Because I dated one, I know.
I didn't get Gemini.
It did.
I don't know.
It did. Very cool, calm, collective, and controversial. That's good, though.
All right. So, out of 10, ladies, how did you enjoy the episode?
It was a 10 until the end. Then it was a negative 5.
It was a 10 because you want to stay, you want to keep the guests and the viewers on their toes. You don't want to necessarily always be agreeable. That's where the views are, and that's where the everything is. So it was a 10.
All right, good. Well, that wraps
until
up
the end. Nah, I'm just kidding.
For today. We're gonna head out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The Instagrams and the way to contact these ladies will be in the description. So feel free to, get in contact with them. But we're out of here, guys.
See you guys.